My name is Shehab Gargash. I am a business person out in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Our business covers several industries, most notably automobiles. We also work in real estate and in financial services.
I want to ask you in regards to the automobiles and the investments. What are the challenges that are currently happening in your industry? And what is the biggest challenge that you've had to deal with during the whole COVID-19 situation?
I think we have been caught by surprise, not by a crisis or by anything, any downturn. I think the severity of it all and the completeness of the calamity has caught everybody off guard. And this is on a worldwide basis. No matter what industry, no matter what level of engagement any person has in business. This is a whole planet of 7 billion people that has ground to a halt almost overnight by the sheer fear of a very contagious disease that has popped up almost from nowhere. And therefore, it is an understatement to say challenges, because right now it's like you threw everybody out of a plane and now they have to figure out how to fly before they splatter onto the ground. And everybody has their own way of figuring out how to get safely over it. These are early days. It may feel like forever, but we are still only several weeks into this situation. How long it's going to last, what are the ramifications after it, how will life be post-COVID? Everybody talks about life post-COVID and when things will return to normal. How do we know what is the normal that we will return to? It's anybody's guess. And I think the biggest challenge is A, survival at this point in time for any business, and B, a proper reading. Once you've figured out how to survive and once you've arrived safely back from that drop from the air onto the ground, B is to figure out what happens next.
Yeah. But I want to ask you, Shahab, though, what changes did you have to make in your own industry during this whole COVID-19? Because you said at the beginning that the most important part is survival, right? But as a company who has so many different job opportunities, you give so many different job opportunities to people. And unfortunately, a lot of people are having to be laid off because of the whole COVID-19 and everything that's going on. So as a company, was these one of the challenges, or was it an internal challenge? I'd just like to have an understanding of, as an industry, right, what were the challenges what were the changes, Terry, that you had to go through?
I will correct you a little bit there. You're talking in the past tense. I think we need to apply the present tense to it. What are the challenges we are facing? Because we continue to fight it on a daily basis. Yeah. The COVID challenge is still ongoing and we're living it every day. And it is, as you rightfully said, it is the what equation do we have for survival as a business? In our case, we have multiple businesses in different industries, and each one has different switches to turn, different levers and dials to turn, all simultaneously at the same time. So it's an ongoing process. It is about, and all the decisions have not yet been made. We are still, because it's an ongoing process, we are still learning every day. We're hitting small victories and small speed bumps every day in the business. But you have a situation where your revenue, which drives everything in any business, has gone from normal levels to near zero overnight. Now, all of a sudden, it's like you have a river that flows water, and all of a sudden, the tap has shut down on that river. So it's only a matter of time before that water passes and then the riverbed dries up. What do you prioritize? in terms of costs cutting, savings, people. Who do I need tomorrow when I go back to business? Who do I not need? In good times, you can hire 100 people when you only need 50 realistically. Like most companies, we're somewhere in the middle. We have some level of automation, clearly not as much automation as we should have. And I think COVID-19 has sort of brought this up to the surface. On the other hand, we are not completely illiterate, as any large company will have some level of automation. So we're somewhere in the middle there. Now, the more technologically competent a company is, this transition becomes easier. But that's only one element of the overall equation. The ease of transition only makes my life today easier as I tackle the daily issues of COVID. It has not yet, technology does not yet address the viability of my business model. Am I still a valid business model or not? Does the world change? People wanted my products and services 6 months ago. Will they still want it 6 months from now? That is existential for any business. Technology merely allows me to transition my ability to communicate and my ability to process the change on a real-time basis. It does not address or does not tackle the issue of my existential issue as a business.
So I want to ask you, what do you think post-COVID-19? What are your plans?
Very, very valid question. And I think it's a question we all should be asking ourselves. If anyone tells you they have the answer of what the world will look like, what will consumers demand of their service providers once COVID is over, and it will be gone.
So I'd just like to know your intake on the event industry when it comes to you as also your own industry. Are you going to be using events anytime soon? Are you afraid of the social distancing? Or are you going to say, no, let's get back to normal, let's do the events and move forward?
Events are a subset of marketing.
Yeah.
Events are a subset of marketing in a sense that I need to market my message, market my products to a willing audience. We are in the auto industry. Auto shows used to be extremely, extremely important methods for auto manufacturers to show their latest models. Yeah. So they do an automotive show in Frankfurt, in Detroit, in Shanghai, wherever it was. Those auto shows are a platform for the manufacturers to show their wares to the customers. It's an event for them.
Definitely.
Over the past 3, 4, 5 years, auto shows have become less and less important. Events didn't go away. The manufacturers now made them more focused, more concentrated. They exchanged the big, gigantic auto events into more customized and more focused product launches or themed launches to very focused groups of customers. That is how events had evolved without even COVID being in the equation. This happened before. So COVID is definitely going to change the events industry. However, events being a major and important channel for linking the supplier with the customer, it may take a different form. It may grow bigger, smaller, become virtual. However, there will be a reincarnation in another form, possibly, of that events industry.
Yeah. So I want you finally to give me an advice for entrepreneurs who are looking to go into the same field as you. What would you give a good advice to these entrepreneurs looking for business ventures and ideas to go into?
You may not believe it, but COVID-19, this is a piece of advice I give to young entrepreneurs. COVID-19 may be the best thing that ever happened to your future. In a sense,
people are actually saying that.
Okay, but I'll tell you why. COVID-19 is about an upheaval. a reset button, a revolution, not business as usual.
Yeah.
Now, who is the smart one among you young entrepreneurs? The smart ones is those who read where industry is going to evolve into, where new opportunities are going to pop up. It's not going to be handed out on a silver plate to you, but youth, I think, is the treasure that our young entrepreneurs have. Youth throws you at the forefront of exploration, of trial and error, and of trying. And if you fall on your face, you get up and you have time on your side as a young entrepreneur. So the piece of advice is go out there, figure out what's going on. It's not every day you have a gigantic sweep that sort of resets everybody and takes the wind out of established businesses that have been around for decades and centuries. And I think that is the big opportunity for people who think differently, who are clever enough to read into future trends and make the most out of that reading.
Shehab, I want to thank you so much. Your last words, what are they going to be?
Well, I think the one thing that COVID has taught us all is an appreciation of humanity. I think we have to appreciate each other, our friendships, our relationships, and our business acumen. Let's keep our scruples high, let's keep our ethics high, and let's go out there and hunt. I think this is a big hunting expedition on the business sense. It's a big hunting expedition for how the world is going to change. Stay safe, but be aggressive.